Hi everybody, it's Amy. This video tutorial is for the image menu. Okay, so I have my picture that I had in the first video. I'm going to go ahead and click on image, and you can see that there's lots of menus that pop up. Mode, oh, and by the way, it's easy to just get lost in here, so you have to go kind of slow. Mode allows you to change it to grayscale or different kinds of colors. I don't use this one as much. I go right to adjustments, and adjustments has a load of things for you to practice with. If you're just enhancing an image, this is where you're going to live. There's other ways to do it. For example, this menu and this panel correspond to each other. So you can actually make adjustments to your layers down here with this panel, but right now I'm showing you adjustments in the image menu. So I'm going to just show you brightness and contrast, and we'll go through some of them. I'm not going to show you all of them because I want you to practice, but if you want to change the brightness of something, this is how you do that. The contrast up and down. Sometimes you see a lot, sometimes you don't. You can click auto, and then it'll do it for you. You can also cancel it. You always want to have this preview up because you want to see what's going on, unless your computer's lagging, but honestly, I always have that on so I can see what's happening. Okay, I'm going to go back to image, adjustments, and levels. Okay, levels is a really complicated menu, especially for middle school and beginners. So basically, you can see how this works when you make some adjustments. So play around with that and see what you get. I mean, sometimes you get some really cool effects. I will warn you that sometimes things look really photoshopped. So if I say that looks really photoshopped, that means that it almost looks fake. But sometimes we want it to look fake. Sometimes that's the goal. We're trying to get something to look different. Curves is also something that's quite advanced. And notice that when these menus pop up, I'm moving them so I can see what's going on here. But if I move them too far, you won't be able to see. I can also move these panels out of the way so I have more space in this work area here. So I'm going to move this over here so I can see a little better. This allows me to change different levels in a variety of different ways. So a lot of advanced users use this to change light and pigment and different things. So play around with that's kind of fun. Okay, image, adjustments, exposure. So exposure is the amount of light that you're bringing in or taking away. And as you can see, this really changes the effect. You can make it look like it's nighttime, do all kinds of stuff. Okay, image. Adjustments, vibrance. Vibrance is a really nice one because it allows you to just bump the color up a little bit, or to saturate color or desaturate color. When you desaturate color, you are creating black and white. You're taking the color away. So that's something fun to see. And if any time during any of these that you really find something that you like, you can save that. I'm going to do that with this one, for example. So I'm going to change the hue on this. I'm going to saturate it. I'm going to make it a little darker. And let's say I want to keep that one. So let's say I go OK. So let's say I like this, but I really still need my original. I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to save this one to my cloud documents, but instead of keeping it as the same name, I'm just going to call it green at the end. I'm going to change the name just a little bit, or like number 2 or number 3 or 4. And then I'm going to click save. So now I have this image saved as different than my original that I was using. Okay, I'm going to close that one out. Now if I wanted to undo it, I could totally undo it. But I'm going to keep it as is, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to save this as my original back again because I don't want to lose that one. So I'm going to take that off and save it over the one I had before. Okay, now let's go back again to image, adjustments. There's hue and saturation, color balance, black and white. Now black and white's a nice one because it instantly changes to black and white, but it adjusts the different colors or hues that you see behind the black and white. Just think of it as a screen. These really are nice, and my advanced students in AP photography use this all the time to bring out contrast in photographs. So practice with that one. I bring out my layers again here because I want you to see that I still just have one layer down here. I haven't popped a layer on top of it or anything yet. Okay, and then there's other things in the adjustments that you can take a look at. I do want to show you some other things. There's auto tone, auto contrast, and auto color. That's kind of like roll the dice and see what it gives you. But image size is really important. You always want to make sure that the resolution on your pictures is at 300. Don't make it more and try not to make it less. If you open up a photo from the internet, you can open up that image and image size and you can see what the size is. You can also change this to 11 by or 8.5 by 11 or whatever size you want, and then change the resolution to 300. As you can see here, it's going to tell you how big your image is going to print. Okay, so I'm going to click OK on that one. All right. And then after you make changes, if you like it, you need to save it. So I'm going to Control S to save. Okay, there's other things in here too. There's canvas size. That just tells you this area here what the canvas size is. You don't really need to worry about that too much. Let's see. Sometimes with a canvas, we want a space to go around it. And so if you're ever in the position where you want openings around or a border around the outside of your picture, that's where you would do canvas size, and you can make your canvas size bigger. Like if I were to make this that, let's see if this changes or not. Let's just see what happens. That allows the canvas size of the work area to actually become a lot larger. Let's make that down just a little. You can see that that picture is now surrounded by a larger canvas size. Okay. So I use that sometimes when I'm going to put things around it. I'm making a graphic design, but in most cases you won't really need that. Okay, let's take a look at what else we have. You can actually do image rotation, where you can, like I showed you before in the edit menu with the transform. You can also do that here. There's a way you can do that just to certain layers. So if you're getting into different layers and you only want to flip one layer at a time, you can do that. Sometimes it flips the whole thing, so you have to select just the layer that you want to change. I can help you with that. Basically, the rest of this stuff we don't really use that much for a beginning. So basically, that is the image menu. There's a lot in there, so play around with that and practice with that menu. Okay, the next tutorial will be layer and filter menu.